The Standard Bank Luju Food and Lifestyle Festival experience will be happening on the 30th of September and the 1st of October at House on Fire, Eswatini. Once again, this year the festival will bring together a holistic family-friendly feast of culinary exploits, high-end fashion, African-rooted live music and hidden gems of the African heritage. Now, to share more on what can be expected, we're joined by the director of the festival, Philippa Thorne. Philippa, a very good morning to you. A warm welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, Leo. Thanks so much for having me.
Philippa, I mean, for somebody who may not know, please give us a brief synopsis of what Luju Food and Lifestyle Festival is.
Yes, so Standard Bank Luju Food and Lifestyle Festival is really a celebration of African heritage and looking at all things, you know, inspired by the past in Africa, the present, and also a glimpse to the future. We have an amazing culinary program, which is looking at a lot of indigenous food and how it's reimagined, some really tasty things happening there. And then this year, very excitingly, we've got an expanded fashion program where we'll be having a runway live at the festival on the Friday night. And then we also have a marketplace with a lot of local designers showcasing. So it's really a feast of color, culture, and creativity. And it's all, you know, from Eswatini.
Yeah. There's a particular theme for the fashion show. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so the theme is a return to an African future. And, you know, what that really is all about is magnifying Africa's rich history, looking at the past and taking inspiration from the past and how does that, you know, translate to the present and future. I really love it because I think it's all about being really individual. So, you know, we have really incredible outfits. The festival goers show up and a lot of individuality. So yeah, that's a really exciting element of the festival.
And how do you source the fashion designers? How do they become part of the festival?
Yes, so we've actually got 8 local designers showcasing on the runway. And what we look for, you know, are brands that really, you know who they are. We also look for quality. So these brands, we've got some who are kind of vintage veterans on the scene in African print. We've got the House of Diva who've shown on, you know, the likes of SA Fashion Week. And then we've also got new upcoming brands, who are working more in sustainable fashion. So, you know, it's quite diverse, the fashion program, but I think what defines it is, you know, each of those brands have their own story to tell, their own message about their African heritage. So that's the fashion show.
Mm-hmm. The food aspect of it, we haven't touched a little bit on it. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, that's always a good idea. Food is always a good idea, right?
Yes, so there's a lot of diversity also in the food. And I think, you know, one of the themes that comes through with the return to the African future is really looking at, the indigenous food of Eswatini and how can we create like Afrofusion dishes that talk to that today. So we have a marketplace, a food marketplace, where we've got about 10 different food vendors, all from Eswatini. And then, you know, within that, we've also got culinary programs. So quite hotly contested is the cook-off. And we'll be having the finals shown live at the festival. So we have local chefs who, you know, apply to take part. And with, sorry, my sister-in-law's just come in, who's actually come to talk about the food program.
Hi.
Is that Nozipho?
Yeah, boy.
Nozipho, we missed you. Please take a seat there that we can continue this conversation and she can tell us about the chefs. Nozipho, we were talking about the chefs before you walked in. Tell us a little bit about your involvement and the bit about the chefs. How did you source the chefs?
Yeah, so I've just been assisting with the culinary program at the festival. And we had a competition, basically an auction for the public to apply to become the next Luju cook-off master, basically. So it was an open call to everyone who wanted to join the competition. So we just had a very short process of applications coming in, and then we had 5 people that we selected to then go on and have an in-store actual cook-off. And from there, we had 3 people selected who are now on a social media platform, and the public has an opportunity to vote for the 2 that they want to see at the festival, going head-to-head.
Nozipho, I'm going to ask you to sit a bit closer to your sister-in-law there so we can be a bit closer, just so we can try. There we go. So we're going to try and have this conversation, continue this conversation. And you're the director of the festival. Tell us a little bit about the other aspects. We touched on fashion, we touched on food, and the poster that we've been running also has Eswatini on it. Tell us a little bit about the musicians that are part of the festival.
Well, actually, I'm not the director of the festival. Our husbands are, but we assist in the different zones. So my focus is on the culinary part of the festival and still on the fashion. I think speaking to the lineup, I think it was, from what I understand, is that it was meant to really embrace, African artists, and you'll see there's a range of artists coming in from South Africa, also from, Eswatini, and also Cape Verde. So yeah, I think it's really an embodiment of the ethos of a return to an African future. So it's very Afrocentric and really exciting lineup, I think, for a few days,
Yeah. So Philippa, paint a picture for us, for somebody who, was trying to imagine what this day is going to look like, from the fashion to the chefs to the musicians.
So I think, when you arrive, one thing you notice when you arrive at House on Fire, which is the venue, is it's just a beautiful space. So, it's full of colors. We've got sculptures. We've got the House on Fire amphitheater. So I think when people arrive, it might take a while for them to absorb this like colorful explosion. I think what you also notice is how everyone's dressed up and the creativity. I think it's really an opportunity for us in Eswatini to express ourselves. So I think, it's going to take people, I think people are going to actually be blown away. If you're coming from South Africa, this is really something not to miss, where you're going to see really what Eswatini has to offer in terms of, the food, the fashion, the culture, and the music.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for talking to us. Good luck with the festival. We are in conversation there with Nozipho Sasha Thorne as well as Philippa Thorne. They were talking to us about the Luju fashion, it's the Standard Bank Luju Food and Lifestyle Festival experience. The 2 ladies there in conversation with us. It's taking place on the 30th of September and the 1st of October.